So we already covered this Web2's user registration, right? So in this session today, like we will work on this Web2's login and navigation. Okay. So in the previous one, I explained like user registration script. I explained parameterization. If if you remember, or in the session or in the video, like right. So I explained what is parameterization, right? So not an issue. Like if someone missed it, also please go through the video today. Okay, that's simple to understand. So today we will, I will introduce, correlation in this particular script, login and navigation script. All right. So, before recording any application, first navigate through the application manually, right? First navigate through the application manually. So I copied the URL. I will use Edge browser, okay, or else some other browser. Okay, first let us navigate through the application manually to make sure that there are no issues, and you are clear about these steps, right? So I navigate to the WebTours homepage and then log into WebTours and then click flights button. So Jojo Bean is the default username and password, right? And then what is the next step? Click flights button, click flights button, right? And then click itinerary button, and then click home button and then log out. Home button, right? And then you have logout, right? So these are the steps we are going to cover today as part of the today's script. Okay. So before recording any application, log in, navigate through the application manually and make sure that all the steps are working fine. Okay. Now, like go launch Vusion. So once we verified that your, steps are working fine, you are able to navigate manually, then, go to file. So we already created a project, right? So file, new script and solution. We already created a project called WebTours, right? In documents, Vusion scripts in this folder. So this is the default folder, documents, Vusion scripts, right? So go to documents. Vusion, right? Scripts. Okay. So I created a folder, like Jan 2021 batch. Okay. We'll do over here. So first select the protocol, right? Select the protocol. This is a web application, right? So select web protocol and give some proper name to this. Okay. WebTours login and navigation. Okay. Recording one. Follow these best practices. Okay. You R1 or REC1. So that you will know that on seeing the script name itself, you will know that that is a recorded script, right? So REC1 11th Jan, and it will be created in this folder because I have changed the location. Okay, and click on create. So like once you give the script name, like an empty script will be loaded like this, and you will have three. If you observe, this is called as the left side, window is called as Solution Explorer, right? So Solution Explorer tree, right? So this left side, this window is called as Solution Explorer. At this part, what? Right, this part is called as Solution Explorer, right? So if you see here, like it will show you, like the script name in high will be in bold, right? So this is the script name that I have given, right? WebTours login and navigation, REC1, and I gave as 11 Jan. So you see the script name in bold, right? So that means that when you have more than one script, right? Only one script will be in bold like this, right? So that is the active script. Clear? So when you have more than one script, only one script name will be bold like this, highlighted like this. That means like that script is active. And like you have three actions like vUser init, action, and vUser end. Under actions, you see like vUser underscore init, action, vUser end. And then you have extra files. I will come to this later. And you have something called, just observe like what all options we have over here. The next one is runtime settings, parameters, recording report, and replay summary, right? So once you launch the script, like, you will have by default all these elements. Okay. Right. So let me start recording now. So, and by default, now you see here, right? So by default action.c will be selected. It will be shown here. And this is the record button. If someone is having previous versions, I think Sharmila has a 12.6 version. So you see a red color button, record button. You see a red color button, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you please launch Vusion, everyone? And also please launch, WebTools application as well. Right. So once you launch the script, like click on this record button. So click on this record button, or Control R is the shortcut for that. So if you observe, if you put your cursor here, it will show you, it is showing the shortcut, right? So see, you see a small box over that when you put the cursor, that is called as tooltip. That's called as tooltip. Is it clear, guys? So, and start recording. So to record the script, click on that record button and you get this, recording window. Now here, if you observe here, recording, there are, action selection. In the first section, you have action selection, means you can record either into vUser init, action, and vUser end, right? I already explained what is vUser. Virtual user, right? So vUser init means initialization. Init stands for initialization, and the main, so all your launch page, hold on. So see, let me show you that vUser init also. So by default, you see the action name or method name, and you see a single statement called return 0 in all the sections or in all the actions. Clear? And let me explain what is the purpose of these three actions first of all. So vUser init, right? Init stands for initialization first of all. Init stands for initialization. So your application logging, launch and login should be kept over here, can be kept over here, right? Launching your application and logging into your application can be kept over here. Okay. And in the action part, the main business action can be kept here. The main business action. And in the end part, logout part can be kept over here. vUser end, right? Say for example, when do we use, let me explain when do we use this, all the three action, vUser init, vUser init, action, and vUser end. So say for example, like you have to define one, you have one business action, search for a ticket. Okay, or else I will take this one. You have to do some fund transfer. You have to do some 3 fund transfers. You are testing an online application, okay? Net banking application, online net bank or net banking application, right? And you want to do some 3 fund, transfers, right? Got it? So what do you, so you want to do one NEFT and, okay, one NEFT, one RTGS, and one IMPS. Assume that you want to do 3 types of fund transfer, NEFT, RTGS, and IMPS, right? What is the purpose of NEFT? What is the difference, or what is the difference between NEFT and RTGS? Yes.
Diamond will get credited to recipient's account into our. That is NEFT. And more than 5 lakhs, we will use RTGS.
No.
More than 2 lakhs, I think, sir.
NEFT is more than 2.
No, NEFT is up to 2 lakhs NEFT.
Up to 2
If you want to transfer up to 2 lakhs NEFT, 2 lakhs and above, you can use RTGS. And IMPS, you know, immediate payment service, right? IMPS stands for immediate payment service. There are certain limits for this IMPS, right? The basic difference is like for amount less than 2 lakhs, you do NEFT, and for RTGS, you do for 2 lakhs and above amount, you have to go for RTGS, right? IMPS, like, you know that, right? So immediate payment service, and so
Yeah.
NEFT, both these NEFT and NEFT will be processed in batches. Okay, for every half an hour, a batch job will be run. Half an hour or 1 hour for every half an hour. I think now it is every half an hour the NEFT batch jobs are run at RBI. Okay, so RTGS, there is no such batch jobs concept. Like it depends on the bank transfer, payee bank and recipient bank. Okay, and IMPS is immediate transfer service, right? Immediate payment service, right? Now, suppose you want to do some, three types of transfers. You want to do some three fund transfers. So what do you generally do? You log in, right? You launch the application, right? And you log in, right? Do whatever you want to do. So you first do NEFT, right? And then RTGS, or whatever the order may be. This order may change, right? But you log in once, do all the three types of fund transfers, and then log out, right? Right? Ideally, you will be doing in this way, but you will not do like this, right? Log in, you won't do in this way. Anyone will not do in this way, right? Log in, do a NEFT, and log out, right? They will not do in this way, right? Agree?
Yes. Yes.
If it's the same bank, you will not do in this way, right? So you got it, right? We don't follow this approach, right? We will follow this approach. You launch the application once, you log in and do NEFT, RTGS and IMPS, and then log out. So you can put this launch and login in the vUser init. These two steps in the vUser init. And then you can put that NEFT, RTGS, IMPS into this main action. The main business action goes into this action block. And then you can put your logout part into vUser end. Clear? Guys?
Yes.
Or else what you can do is, if you want to have a separate action for left RTGS IMPS, what you do is you can click on create new action, right? And NEFT, name it as NEFT, right? I named it, I'm adding new actions, right? Right click and create new action, RTGS, right? And then again, right? You will do like this, right? You got it, right? So you put your launch and login into vUser init. Logout goes to here vUser end, and you will put your NEFT, RTGS, IMPS in different actions, right? You can do either this way. Here. So this is the purpose of so what I want to say is the main action, this action, right? It should be having the main business process, your main business process. You can rename it as per your requirement. If you want, you can create new action and you can give whatever name you want. Okay, so for now I am deleting these three actions. Is the concept clear? What is the purpose of these three?
Yes.
Yes.
So we will do in this way later on, but for now we will record everything into action only. Okay, we'll put everything into action only for now, right? So like I'm starting recording. So that is the purpose of this. And if you want to include any extra files, like they go over this section. I mean, they will be visible under this tree, right? We call this as a tree structure, right? So we can expand and collapse the tree structure, right? So we call this as a tree structure, and this particular window is called as Solution Explorer. All right. So now let me start recording. So I clicked on start recording, and by default action will be selected into record into action. There is a drop down called record into action. So in which you will have all the actions in your script. So if we add a few more actions, they will be visible here. Okay. Now, by default action will be selected, and, so, and under recording mode, you see like, another drop down with default option as web browser. So apart from this web browser, you have Windows application. So if you want to record a browser based application, you can go ahead with web browser. Or if you want to record a desktop application, you will go with this Windows application. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, we'll go with web browser, right? And, because we are testing like we want to record a web HTML application or browser based application, right? And, like you can give, there is another field called URL address. So you can give the web tools URL over here, or else you can give it after once you start the recording also, right? And, like there are some recording options to select. Okay. So which I have listed out in one of the slides. Let me show you that. Views and settings before starting recording. Okay. So use these options. Okay. I'll explain this in the next session. Go to recording options, general. Okay. Let me record the, I think it will not be clear for you, even though I explain now, let's record one script now. And, once we record the script, I will show you like, why we should select these options. So for now, like, go to recording options, general recording, HTML based script. Okay. Go to click on this recording options. Can you do along with me, please, everyone? See, recording options, general recording, HTML based script. Under that, select HTML advanced script type, select second option. Recording, HTML based script, HTML advanced. Under script type, select the second one. Once we record a script, I will explain. With the help of the script, I will explain what is the difference between these two script types and why we should select the second script type. I'll explain that once we, create a script. Okay. So for now, select the script type as second one, guys, everyone. Done with that?
Sure, can you repeat once?
Right. And next, go to recording options. Again, HTTP properties advanced. HTTP properties. So here it is, HTTP properties advanced. And, this will be checked by, this checkbox will be checked by default, generate web add cookies functions. And uncheck that checkbox, this particular checkbox. This one, generate, web add cookies. Just uncheck this checkbox. Okay, I already did it. Okay. Next. One more thing. I think there is one more thing. So in headers, select record headers. Okay. Hold on. So go to headers, select recording options. Under here, right? In advanced only, headers, right? What is there in for you by default? So if you want to see the default one, I made some changes. Okay. If you want to see the default one, Loadrunner uses, every window has this button called use defaults, right? So if you click on use defaults, it will select the default one. Got it? Record headers not in the list, right? That is a default one. So see, every window has this use defaults option, right? See here, this window has use defaults, and in mapping and filtering, you have this use defaults. So for every option, like you'll have this, this particular window, right? Here you have use defaults, right? So if you click on this use defaults, this is the default one, right? Once you The first time you come to this, by default, this script type will be selected as first one, correct? And I asked you to select the
Sure.
second script type. Okay.
So can you give me slow? I'm not able to follow you.
Okay. So I shared this, right? I shared this PPT to you, right?
No.
No.
Okay, let me share this first. So once we select the proper recording options, right? So click on this start recording button. Guys, shall we move ahead?
Yes.
Okay. So see here, what does it say? The running instances of Google Chrome must be closed before recording, right? Click OK to close them now and begin recording, or cancel if you want to close them manually and then start recording, right? So whatever browser you want to use, you have to close all the instances of that browser if they are already open. So right now, Chrome is already opened. I opened, couple of tabs in Chrome, right? So that's what it is saying. Running instances of Google Chrome must be closed before recording. Okay. So click OK to close them now and begin recording. If you click on OK, it will, tool will automatically close them. Or else if you want to close them manually, click on cancel. Is it clear? Are these options clear?
Sir, in my, it's not showing a Google Chrome, sir, application.
Means like your laptop, you may not be having Google Chrome installed.
Yeah, it's there, sir.
It's already installed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, we'll see that. So
It's only showing a
drop-down you are not
Microsoft
seeing, right?
Edge, sir. Microsoft Edge showing, sir.
Okay. So you'll see that after the session.
Okay, sir.
Pawan,
Okay,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So I will select Edge over here. Okay. So Edge I'm not using now. Let me try the Edge browser. Okay. And click on start record because Chrome I have opened couple of tabs, right? That's why I'm selecting Edge here. You can select any browser. Okay. Click on start recording. So once you click on start recording, tool will launch the browser for you, right? It launched the tool from the browser, right? Whatever browser you selected, it will be launched, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now you get a floating window called, recording events. This is called as floating window, right? Because it can be dragged anywhere. This is called as floating window, right? Recording events, you are seeing one window, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. And there is a timer running here, and this is the timer running right on the right side. And you see on the window, left side of the window, you see recording events, and this count is increasing, right? So and there is an option to insert let us understand these comments. Okay. Let's understand these options. So you have stop recording, an option to stop recording. This is pause recording, right? And this is cancel recording. And see here, again, action and view user end is there over here, right? You have a drop down kind of, right? To select action and end, right? And like this, we'll come to the start and end transaction. So I already explained what is a transaction. What is meant by transaction?
And login or a transaction or logout are the transaction names.
Yeah. So any user action is called as transaction. Any user action is called as transaction, right? And there is an option to insert comment, right? So click on that insert comment and and type right. You can type it or copy from the Excel sheet that I shared, right? Give the step, but give the step number. So these are all best practices, please follow the best practices. Okay. I gave a comment, and then
Sure, I have one question.
Hmm.
There is no VUnit option in the drop down on the floating window.
Yes, it should be there, but it's not there. maybe that is a bug in this 2020 version, but it should be there. I remember that it should be there. You can, you can cut the code and paste it into user init later also, if you want. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm entering the URL. I'm launching the WebTools homepage, right? And next, what is the next step? So you can copy it from the, instead of typing, you can copy it from the Excel sheet. Okay. The next step is like log into WebTools, right? So click again this insert comment, and then log into, enter the comment, log into WebTools, click OK, and then perform the step, right? So this is the, this is how you can record a script. Like this is a proper way to record a script. I prefer to keep comments and then give the transaction names later on. Okay. Some people, while recording the script itself, they will put transactions. Okay. But I follow this. I will insert comments and then I will give the transaction names later on. Clear? Guys, able to follow, right? Nothing complex to, nothing complex over here, right? I'm just recording a script. I'm copying the, I'm copying the, from the transaction column, I'm copying the comments, okay, to use as comments. Okay. So this is the third step, right? Give a number, and click flights button. That is the third step. All right. What is the next step now? Fourth step is click itinerary button. Okay, click on this itinerary button and then click home button. That is the fifth step. Click home button. Then the last step is sign off or log out. 5 or 6? What step? Sixth step. Okay, I'll correct it later. All right. So, put the comment, insert comment, and then perform that step. Right. So we are done with all the 6 steps now. Right. Now I am stopping the recording. Right. This is the button to stop recording. This square button. Right. So once you stop recording, it has created a script. Okay. Seems like, nothing got recorded. I'll click this link. The record, see here, the recorded script contains no steps. Okay, so let me see why it did not record. Okay, this is like this seems to be browser issue. Okay, so go to this action, the main action. So it did not record anything, right? So you are seeing only comments, right? Guys.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
These are only comments. This should be a issue with the browser. Okay, I will use Firefox. Okay, so now, let's re-record the script. Okay, so you can record into, because it did not record anything, so you can record into the same script. Okay, click the record button again, and all these will be overwritten. Okay, change the browser over here. So I am selecting Firefox and click on start recording. sorry, I think I entered a wrong password. So in such case, you know, what you can do is, if you do, see, these are common while recording, these are common, right? So, you know, what you can do is you can keep another comment, log into WebTools again, Ani, right? So keep another comment and then, you know, continue with the scripting. You need not stop recording. Okay. Next step. What is the next step now? Click flights button. That is the third step, right? Click flights button. Then what is the next step? You have click itinerary button. Fourth step is click itinerary button. Perform that step. Put a comment and then perform the step. Alright. So next one is click home button. Right, and then last step is logout. You can type, or you know, like or if you have already, you know, Excel sheet or some document, you can copy it from there. Right. So I'm done with the recording. Stop recording and let's see, like, you know, if it recorded anything. So it took around 2 minutes to record, approximately 2 minutes to record the script. It is generating the script now. As you can see here, tool is generating the script, right? Now this time it is successful. Okay. So, and you know, it opens the recording report. Observe here, once you stop recording, it will generate the script and it will open a recording report, right? Guys, see here, recording report is highlighted and you see this, you know, this is the recording report. We'll come to this recording report. What is the use of this report and all? So let's see the script first, whether it recorded, you know, what it recorded, right? Yeah. So go to double click on that action. And, you know, like, because while recording, like we selected action, right? So while, you know, hold on. So in the recording button, we selected action, right? Record into action, and we selected action, right? That's why, you know, go to that action. And now see, you can see the comments over here that you have kept in green color, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see, like, you know, in orange color, you see some functions, right? These are load runner functions actually. These are load runner functions, right? So, and you know, like you see the actual request, right? See, launch WebTools, and this is the URL that we launched, right? Localhost 1080 WebTools index.htm. And then the second one is login to WebTools, right? And you see this is, you know, once we click on login, right? We entered the username over here, right? And password. So see, initially, you know, there is a typo here. I gave as EBAN password, whereas the password is BEAN. This is the correct password, right? So so there is a typo here, and you know, I gave a wrong password, right? So I'm deleting this one. So I'm just deleting that particular, you know, wrongly recorded request, right? And you know, like this is the login to WebTools, right? I kept the comment, you remember, right? Login to WebTools again I kept, right? And then I gave the correct username and password, and then I am able to log in, right? And then I clicked on flights button, right? So, and this is the request that went to the server. When I click on flights button, this is the request that goes to the server, right? And then once I click on itinerary button, this is the page that this is the request that goes to the server, right? And once I click on home button, again, like, you know, this is the request that goes to the server, right? If you want to compare, if you want to cross verify, go to your WebTools folder, open file location, right? Go to logs. There is a folder called logs, right? So in that you have access logs. See here, it was updated just now. Is it updated? It should be updated. Hold on, let me open this. You go to the end of the file, right? So see here, for every request you send to the server, you know, it will make an entry in this log file, right? At what time we started around 9:05. Let's check after 9:05, right? You see here, right? So all these requests, index.html, header.html, hplogo.png, webtools.png, and all, right? So like, of course, all the requests and sub requests will be logged here. All the requests and sub requests also will be logged here in the log file. What log is this? This is access log, guys, right? This is access log in WebTools logs folder. Clear? I have shown this already, right?
Yes, Kish.
I cleared this log file and I have shown this previously. When we are accessing from the browser, some entries will be made into this access log. I have shown this already in the one of the previous sessions.
Yes, sir.
Those who didn't attend also, there is nothing difficult to understand here. Okay. Let me clear this. Let me show it one more time. I'm clearing this complete log, right? And access the application one more time just to show you, right? See, I am already on index.html page, right? Now let's go to I just refreshed the page to send the request again. Okay. Right? I refresh the page to send the request again and go to the log file access.log. See here, and entries are made just now, right? So 9:13, just now this entry is made into the log file. You can see webtools index.html, header.html, welcome.pl, home.html, and nav.pl, right? This is the main request. Index.html is the main request, and these are all sub requests, right? Webtools header.html, welcome.pl. I have shown you how they are called also, right? Index, we sent a request for index.html, but how they are called, I have already shown you, right? Remember or no?
To developer tool.
Yeah, we can check in the developer tool, but actually how they will be called. So we are sending a request to this index.html, right? But internally it is making a call to header.html and welcome.pl. I have shown this already, explained this, right?
Sir.
Yes, yes.
That is how all these, sub requests are called, right? So header.html, welcome.pl, and in header.html calls to images, right? And welcome.pl, from welcome.pl, these two calls are made. Home.html and nav.pl are made, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so this is about log file, WebTools log file. Okay, let's go back to the script, right? So now you can see, right? So tool has captured all your request and response. You need to understand this, right? Tool will capture any tool, not only LoadRunner, like, any tool like JMeter or NeoLoad or any other tool, WebLoad or SimpleFarmer. They will capture the request and responses. So these are your requests. Request means, what is request? What is a HTTP request? Request is something which we send from browser to server, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This request was sent from browser to server, right? So, and it recorded as some web_URL. Now, if you remember this, recording options, I asked you to select the script type as second one, right?
Yes, sir.
So see here in bracket, you see web_URL web submit data, right?
Yes.
So if you select the first one, web_link will be recorded. Okay. But you should select, I will explain the difference later on. Okay. As this is the first or second script, I don't want to give too much inputs now. But for now, understand that as we selected the script type as second one, we are seeing web_URL and web submit data in the script. Let's check whether there is a web submit data. Here it is, right? Web submit data is also recorded. And you understand the difference between these two? What type of request is this? I already explained what type of HTTP request is this.
Get.
Right. This is a GET request. GET request, it will not be mentioned as method is equal to GET. In the request, you will not see that request is equal to GET. But what type of request is this? Web submit data.
Post.
Post request. For post request, you can see this line. Method is equal to post. right?
Yeah.
And why this is designed as post request? Because
Because it contains the username and
Parameters.
password
username
credentials.
and
Yes.
password.
Credentials, user credentials.
Right. So user credentials will be submitted to the server. That is the reason this particular request is designed as a post request. This is defined by developer. You need not worry about that. Okay. You just need to understand, why it is post request, right? So this is done by the developer of this application. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, fine. So now we understood that these are the requests that we sent from browser to server, right? These are the requests that are sent from browser to server, right? So so tool has recorded all the requests that went from browser to server, right? And it is it generated the script for you, right? We didn't write any single line of code, right? So tool has generated a complete script, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, how about the response, right? So fine, we have sent a request, this request from browser, right? How to see how about the response, right? Tool will capture the response also. If you want to see the response, right click and use this show snapshot. See, this is the request, right? Home page request or web2's index.html page request, right? So right click on that. This started from line number 26 and ended at line number 34. You can right click anywhere from 26 to 34. You can right click anywhere from 26 to 34 and use this option show snapshot and go to, observe here, in snapshot, this is called as snapshot window, right? So once you understand the interface, you will play with the tool, right? You can play around with the tool, right? So see here. So this is called as snapshot window. Okay. Remember the terms snapshot. This is called as snapshot window. What is this one called?
Solution Explorer.
Solution
Right.
Explorer.
Right. And this is script window, right? Where you see the script, right? Now, so in the snapshot, observe here, there are two things. One is single and split, right? We'll come to this. Why? When do we use this split? I will explain later. But and below that you have two options: recording and replay, right? So we recorded the script just now, right? So that's why like by default recording will be selected, right? And observe here, there are again two tabs called HTTP data and page view. Okay, if you click on page view, you'll see that that particular response that we got from the server. This is the response that we got from the server, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the response page that we got from the server for this request, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to check that, you have to go to page view. If you go to HTTP data, you'll see the request and sub request and all. See here, web2's index.header.html, welcome.pl, home.html, nav.pl, and so on. So what do you see? What do you see in HTTP data? You see the request, sub request, how much, what is the response time, right? And all these details. And what is the method, request method, what is the response code and all, right? In HTTP data. Clear? And if you want to see the code of this index.html, go to this response body and observe here. This is nothing but your, see, if you go to response, I selected index.html and I'm seeing the response body. So this is nothing but your, your index.html page code, whatever you see in, okay, let me show you. Let me paste it here and let me show you here. See here, this is nothing but the same index.html code, right? HTML code of index.html, right?
Yes.
So what do you see in, so under HTTP data, what do you see? You see the code for that particular each sub request, right? This is header.html code, right? Header.html I already shown you, BG color, and I have shown you this is color code, and and this is you are calling two images will be called from this page, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
See here, image source is equal to hp logo.png. Image source is equal to webtools.png, right? So guys, these are all, cool basics. If you understand this, like, with simple scripts, like you'll get more confidence on the tool as well as scripting. Okay, but you should know all these options. Okay, we are not writing any code, right? We haven't written any code till now, but we are using the options provided by the tool. That's it, right?
Yes.
Okay, you got it right. So now if you want to see the response of this one, this login page,
Right
how
click.
to see the response?
Right click and snapshot.
Right click, show snapshot, right? Go to page view,
Visual.
click on page view, right? This is the response that we got, right? Once we send the credentials, this is the page that we see, right? Or this is the response that we get from the server, right?
Yes.
Ishta, are you able to follow?
Yeah.
Ishita,
Yeah, Kishore.
able to follow?
Yeah.
Let me know if I am going fast.
Actually, while recording, I'm not able to follow you. Now I'm okay.
Okay, we'll record around 10 scripts. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
We will repeat that, like this complete January, like we will be working on scripting only. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
So, and give a try. When you do hands-on, then, like, then you will understand and you will explore more. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the response of this login step, right? And what is the next one? The next step is click flights button. Let's see the response of this. You just click on anywhere from this line. It started at 78, line number 78 to 76. You can click anywhere. This will be loaded. On your machine, it will not be loaded. Okay, I'll tell you how steps to load the snapshots. Okay, by default, snapshots will not be loaded. Okay, for the first time. So for that, what you had, did you record anyone? Did anyone record the script along with me?
No.
No one recorded?
No, sir.
Okay. You can try after the session, okay? I will upload this to YouTube and share it to you. From today onwards, like I will share as a private video. Means I will share to your email ID only, right? So you have to log in with your email account, and you have to view. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Next step. So itinerary button. So the next step is click itinerary button, right? This is the itinerary page that we see, right? And the next step is home button, right? So once I click on home button, you see a welcome page like this, right? And then logout. Once we click on logout, you see this window, right? Option to login again, right? This frame is now, somehow it is not loaded. Somehow it doesn't get loaded. But this username and password, this window, this frame is loaded. Okay. So what did you understand today? Now, once we start recording and record a script, tool will capture all the requests and responses, right? Tool will capture the requests that are going from browser to server and the response that is coming from server to browser. And it will generate a script for us, right? Okay. Now, so I'll stop it here. So I have to explain correlation. To make the script work, I have to explain a concept called correlation. So I'll do that tomorrow. So let me show you how to see the snapshots, right? You by default snapshots will be disabled. You should go to tools, options, right? And go to scripting, and then snapshots, right? So here you have to check this, enable HTTP page view option. This can you go to this window, tools, options, scripting? Everyone in your VUgen, tools, options, scripting. Can you share your screen, please? I'm stopping your screen. I stopped my screen share. Can one of you share your screen, please? Yeah. So go to snapshots. Yes. So see, the last option is not checked by default, right? So yeah, check that and click OK. All right. So
Yes.
we'll stop. Yeah. So we'll stop it here. Thanks, Lakshman.
Okay.
Okay. And if if you are if facing any recording issues, like ping in the WhatsApp group, right? So that everyone will know what issues you are facing, and I'll show how to fix those if any issues. Okay. I'll stop it here. So yeah. So this is action, right? So action.c, right? And go to recording. We'll discuss all these headers and all tomorrow, right? So like now you created a script now, right? Now if you want to replay the script, for example, now you want to simulate that login and navigation with a script, right? So you can replay the script by using this option, replay option. Okay, or F5 is the shortcut for that. Once you click on replay, see here, you get something called runtime viewer, right? You get something called runtime viewer. This also doesn't come by default. You have to enable that. Go to tools options. Everyone, please go to tools options, scripting, replay, and select the show runtime viewer during replay. Select this checkbox, show runtime viewer during replay. Tools options, scripting, replay. Okay.
Okay.
And check by default this will be unchecked, right? You observe that, right?
Yes, sir.
So check this, show runtime viewer during replay. Now, what is the purpose of runtime viewer is when you are running the script, right? When you are running the script, it will show you the response for each page. Okay. So this is the login page, right? Guys, this is the login page, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Launch page, sorry, launch page, right?
Launch.
Then once you click on, see, there is a forward button and back button. So back button, if you want to see the previous screen, you go to back button. If you want to go to the next screen, go to click on forward button, right? Now see here, what is it saying? See, this page is correct, right? So this is nothing but which one, what is the corresponding request here? This one, right? WebTools index.html.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is the index page, right? The next step is login step, login to WebTools, right? Okay. Now let us see the next screen, what we got, right? So it is saying it is saying some, it is showing some message, right? Actually, it should allow. So while recording the script, what we got? Right click and show snapshot. So it displayed a welcome message. Welcome Jojo to the WebTools reservation pages, Sunny. It displayed a welcome message while recording, right? But now when I replayed the script, what is it saying? You have reached this page incorrectly, or probably a bad user session value, right? So I have to explain what is a session, user session, and how to handle this, how to make the script work, right? So I'll show that tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow.
Okay.
You understood the issue, right? When I replayed the script, it actually failed at the second step, at the login step. Why? Because username and password are here, right? But along with the username and password, one more value got sent to the, will be sent to the server, right? That is called user session, right? And this user session changes every time. This value changes every time. Every time you access the application, right? This user session value changes. So how to confirm that and how to handle that, I'll show you tomorrow. And so basically, what is this value? So we entered username and password in the, in the login page, right?
Yes.
We entered that Jojo and Bean, and we click on login, right? So let me launch developer tools and show you something over here. Function F12, you can use function F12, right? Go to network tab, right? So once I enter the username and password and click on login button, right? And see this login.pl, observe here.
Click on request. Request upside.
Wait. Yeah. So see here, the request tab, see here, along with the username and password, see, Jojo is the username, password is Bean. Along with that username and password, one more value got submitted to the server, right? Called user session, right? I'm copying this user session. So we did not enter this value, any value like this, right?
Yes.
Right? And actually server has generated this value. And sent it in the launch page. Once we go to launch page, server has generated this value and sent this, and sent to the browser, right? And that is a dynamic value generated by the server, and along with the username and password, this value is getting submitted. That's what this means, right? At least request under means, what is request? Whatever is sent from browser to server, that is called as request, right?
Yes.
Right? So along with the username and password, I entered username and password, right? Along with the username and password, there is one more value that got submitted to the server, right? And that is nothing but your user session. That is called as user session, right?
Yes.
So we did not generate this value, but how come, from where we got that value? That is, we got that value from the server, right? Let me show you that where we got that value from the server, right? We are getting a dynamic value from the server. I am saying that we are getting a dynamic value from the server. So you can use any browser to see that. Let us use Edge browser, right? And I am sending a launch developer tools, right? And send the request. Means we are sending a request, index.html request to the server, right? Now if you see the response of this page, right? View page source, right? So if you want to see the HTML code of this page, like you can use this view page source, right? Right click and view page source. Everyone knows this, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is the HTML response of this page, right? Now, so do you have anything over here? WebTools index.html. This is
No.
nothing but header.html, welcome.pl. Right click over here. Or else, you frame source, right? There is an option called frame source. See, page source means it will show the source of the HTML code of the main request, right? But if you use frame source, if you click over here and use frame source, it will show the response of this frame, HTML code of this frame. Okay.
Okay.
Right? See here, there is something called input type is equal to hidden, name is equal to user session, value is equal to, right? And there is a value that we got from the server, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? And the same value will be submitted to the server when we are logging in. Let me show you that. Closing this, right? I copied down that value to Notepad, right? And let me do a login now. Okay, let me clear this, clear that, and I am logging in, right? I entered the credentials and I am logging in. Now go to this login.pl, right? And go to request, right? See here, under login.pl, along with the username and password, right? this value got submitted, right? See here, user session. Is this the same value that we got previously in the launch page?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So if you have, as this is a big value, if you want to compare precisely, right, you can use an online tool called textcompare.com, right? This is a website online application called textcompare.com, right? So you copy the first one into, basically this is used to compare two texts, right? I copied the first value into text box 1, and I am copying the second value into box 2. Okay, and click on this compare. It is showing that the two texts are identical, right? It will compare the text that you entered in both the boxes, and if it will tell you whether they are same or not,
Yes.
right? Even if one character changes, for example, here I am removing one character. Now, if you compare, it will show that there are some differences. See here, it has highlighted that J here, Z, right? In the first value you have Z, and in the second one I deleted that just to show you like how it works, right? So can you note it down? Can you go to this http textcompare.com, right? Google, textcompare.com. Just Google for textcompare.com, right? And go to that, and bookmark this in your browser. Right? Is it clear how it works?
Yes, sir.
Right? And it has clearly shown that both the texts are same, right? So idi manaki, this is the value that we got at launch page. I copied this, and what I did next, I logged into the application. So hold on. So I copied this and enter it into the first box, and then I logged into the application. When I log into the application, along with my username and password, the same value got submitted, right? If you want to verify whether it is the same value or not, enter it in the second box and click on compare, and it is showing that the two texts are identical, right? Right? So what does that mean? Every time you launch the application, every time you access any application, right? I'm accessing that WebTools application again. So every time you access that application, you get that, you get this user session value, right? Let me copy this. And this is again different, right? Observe here. I opened another browser. See here, you got a different value now, right?
Yes.
And you got it right. Every time you access the application, you are getting this user session value. Some dynamic values generated by the server, right? It is dynamic, right? So it is changing every time. That's why it is dynamic value. And the same value, that user session value, is getting submitted when I log into the application. Yes or no? Let me launch developer tools again here in Chrome, and I'm clicking on login, right? So go to this login.pl and see the value user session. What is it submitted? This is the same value that we got it in the home page. Understood or no? This is the same value that we got in the home page, right?
Yes.
Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Raiteja, Ishita,
Yes.
right? So tomorrow I'll explain what is this user session and what is the purpose of this user session. Okay. So just to give some analogy, when you join any company, you will get some employee ID, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
This is something similar to that employee ID, right? And once you log out of the application, so once you log into the application, or once you access any application, you are getting some user session, right? You are getting some user session, right? and that user session will be available in the browser, in the server, till you log out. Once you log out, that user session will be removed from the server, right? Just like once you resign to the organization and leave the company, your employee ID will be disabled, right? So in the
Yes.
same way, this user session also will be deleted from the server, right? I'll explain this user session tomorrow in detail.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll explain how to handle that in the script.
Yeah.
I'll stop it here. It's already 9:40. Let me add the tracker, your tracker for your batch. We'll close the session.
Hey, Kishore, please ping us in WhatsApp once you upload this video as private to YouTube.
Sure,
Please
sure.
do ping us.